Is February the 1st, 2022. Time to grow, guys. Oh my goodness. Word on the street. Word on the street is that those guns are still going off. And last I checked, the mayor was blaming the attorney stepping over the scenes, thinking that it's not going to touch you or waiting for it to find you. Do something, say something. Call your council members, call your Congress members, and let them know that you refuse to continue to raise your children or to be living in this state of emergency. Hey guys, palms up. Word on the street is that the Healthy DCME Leadership Coalition, that's right, the Healthy DCME Leadership Coalition is on the scene. We on the block, we watching the kingdom. We were over in Woodbury Village this past Tuesday.
Well,
I'm telling you, and I'm going to do something different. I'm going to segue and share my word on the street because I want our dear overseer to talk a little bit about it. Guys, as you heard us talk about over a year ago now, that he just calling and DMing and nobody responding. 13 DC city agencies failed them. What's up with that? That's right. Word on the street is that we still on the case. Stay tuned. We did a radio show. We got a Washington Post. We got their ear. We pushing for congressional hearings as well as DC council hearings because we're not having it. We're not having it. Word on the street, Pastor Coles. Help me understand it.
And I think it was a good thing when we were there Tuesday. We actually got
Woodbury. Everybody, put it on your social media. Hashtag what about Woodbury? As you heard our dear pastor say, we over there. Got council member Robert White over there to see what's going on. He was appalled.
Upset. He was truly upset.
Appalled.
Upset. Actually, we had him to walk with me. We did 5 units.
Uh-huh.
And one of the units, he looked at up in the ceiling, the water was coming down. In another unit, you could see the mold. It really became reality for Mr. White, what they were going through. There was some that
having it in our town. We're not having it in our watch. On our watch, the Healthy DCME Leadership Coalition is out here, guys. And word on the street tells me that a certain someone got an award today. I'm putting her on the spot because it's Black History Month. I want you guys to know about this queen sitting left of me. They tell me that she mixing it up with the Metropolitan Police Department. Security. What that war was about. Talk to them. Tell them what you got honored for today, Queen. Palms up to you first and foremost.
Thank you. Today was honored for doing the Put Your Guns Down over in Ward 8 with DC.
You heard me right. We're going in the entire month of February. Oh my goodness, all the love and the prayers, the support, the condolences, the palms up, all of the hugs, all of the cards, all of the cash apps, guys. Oh my God, in the beautiful, beautiful memory of our dear Queen, Regina Fleming. We want to give her a beautiful palms up, and I hope you guys got a chance to celebrate in her beautiful life in her homegoing service this past Monday. We are so elated to have sent her off so beautifully. And so now the work begins, because you know what it is. Hashtag mental health knows in the family. Don't play with me. You know you look more like Uncle John than Uncle Tom. You know all these stories we're talking about. Somebody said that wasn't your daddy. Somebody said you had a brother out there. And my dad, we lost him to his drug addiction. He's a beautiful soldier man and all of my heroes. So don't weep for me, okay? I had some beautiful, beautiful parents, and I still do. I still love them and I praise them. But I am so honored to be their legacy. And those of you out there who are taking your own walk, those of you out there who are a part of someone else's beautiful legacy, you got some family secrets out there. And as we do this work and we heal and we look in the mirror trying to figure out if I got mama's eye or daddy's nose, you know what it is out there. Because of my father and of my mother, she ended up having to give him up for adoption, and that's something that stayed with her for years. And because she was bound by her mental health challenges, we weren't sure if it was the right time to look into it and find out, and if this would be something great for her or traumatic for him. And so now, because we have all this wonderful technology, because we know the importance of healing somebody else's DNA, and I'd like to know about that. Many of you guys probably watch on cable TV. I think it's Dr. Gates. He does a show about helping folks find their connections to their history. And one of the things that we're excited about here on the Palms Up show is that we have a partnership in our coalition with the Bowie State Graduate Chapter. And they have been spearheading our research efforts. And we're so excited. They started on Martin Luther King Day with us down at the Martin Luther King festivities. And now for the month of Black History,
my dad
Mm-hmm.
did not know his father.
Mm-hmm.
His mom didn't tell him, or the grandmother didn't tell him. And that always kind of bothered him. Today, matter of fact, at the award, I was a gentleman, and I kept looking at, when you said the nose thing, and our last name was similar. I'm like, could it possibly
You know, let me find out you walking around at so many years of age, looking still, trying to make that connection. It never leaves us, guys. It really doesn't. And when we start talking about healing ourselves and just really understanding who we are, and I don't know if you're like, I'm here to tell you that as the daughter of schizophrenia, I want you to understand how deep this mental health goes. As the daughter of schizophrenia, when my mom got sick, I had to go and be raised with other family members, as I've told this story plenty of times. But the reality is I got millions of pictures of me. But do you know that I did not realize until preparing my mother to go home that I had not ever saw a picture of me as a baby, and definitely not one in my mother's arms. I've seen pictures out there, my community mothers in the community ready for the jump off every time, wondering why you got this attitude, why you're angry, why you're yelling at everybody. Guys, it's time to search and seek within, because many of us have these same stories. I was a young woman who wasn't held by my mother often enough because she was away and she was sick. My father's family did a wonderful job. I got a wonderful education. But the reality is, because it's popular right now to be talking about mental health, but we're talking about you right now. We're talking about me right now. We're talking about us right now. We've got to do the work. See, when you do the work, you don't have to depend on somebody else to talk to you about your mental health. You don't have to worry about anybody making fun of you. When you go and find out who you are and whose you are, and you build that foundation up under yourself, guys, to God be the glory. So we're asking you guys this February, take this journey with us. Anybody got some broken DNA out there? What's beautiful about this journey is that Bowie Stave Pastor said that it's going to take them 7 weeks.
Yeah.
7 weeks to kind of connect, tell you as far back to what tribe you might connect to in the motherland or over in Eastern Europe. You know, some of us, you know, you got Indian in your blood. It's going to be for us in terms of our journey. So are you brave enough to take this journey? It's Black History Month, guys. Why not? Why not? In honor of. So tell me what you're thinking about. Have anybody along the way, not in a day, they took care of the families, but they took a couple of pages out their book, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Because I'm trying to figure out, if my father was the only child, how did he have an Uncle Lewis? I can remember this Aunt Carol that looked lily white. I was always told he was the only child. Again, y'all old folks kept some secrets. There's a lot of secrets in the graveyards too.
Yes. And what we keep doing, when we don't look into it or when we don't own it, we don't break the cycles. Yeah. And so our children grow up and not knowing. And then for me, it just dawned on me, who was I going to turn to find hallucinations or the challenges that many do have. But the truth of the matter is, it's important to get educated.
It really would, though, be nice to know. Because as far as on my father's side, I am the last generation.
Oh, you got to know then. You got a responsibility to know.
I am it.
Wow, and you got to do this so that your son can find out and know who he belongs to.
Yeah, truthfully, but
see
I got
you represent. Come on,
attitude. Like,
come on.
Look,
and our parents before us, you didn't need to know. Don't worry about what went on. Just worry about what I told you. And that's how we're living, guys. And so the truth of the matter is, palms up. Tonight's show is just to give you the prelude to understand that this month, this Black History Month, we're challenging you out there to go deeper. If you're going to really look into what your mental health challenges may be, you're going to want to understand what your DNA is connected to. And so for me, I'm not sure how I think we got 6 confirmed, hired on the spot. Well, I don't know if you call it on the spot because they had to go and do some screening and thing. But the reality is that, guys, the Healthy DCME Coalition, we are so serious about helping you to do your work. Guys, we have to do this together. When we lost our dear George Floyd, we tore this town and many towns up. We said we weren't going to have it anymore. We said we...
never know what you might uncover.
I tell you, got a whole nother family out there.
That's why they can't find that formula. My therapist say it's supposed to be a purple pill, you know. Hey, so.
I think about something you talked about when we talk about connecting these steps. Let's go even deeper, because you talked about something with your high yellow self. You know how they say your high yellow self. You know, I know you heard that all your life, right? With your beautiful self. I know this was fighting words, right? But that's the mental health, and that's everything. We ready for the jump off. And daddy's daddy.
Don't make me no different.
Hey, I love that. I love that.
It really don't. I mean, for me to be so light, and my parents both were dark skinned.
Interesting.
For me to be so light, my mother said when I was born that when they brought me to the room, she said, "Y'all got the
got the wrong baby.
That's not my baby. That's some white woman's baby." I was born and all I had was 2 red string hair. So I know I got a buffet inside of me.
She called it a buffet. That's a palms up.
My dad, that's with thin, you know, he had the features of a white man.
Wow.
But he was dark skinned.
Wow.
But had beautiful.
Be able to understand, they're always able to help you understand what part of the, what continent you came from, what tribe in Africa or what other, you know, kind of you might have been connected to. And I've always been curious about that. I don't know that I want to take the trip to Africa.
But you know, that would be interesting because, you know, I work with a ministry.
Oh, you sure do.
In Kenya.
Yes.
And they've been trying to get me to come over there.
Now, wouldn't that be interesting?
That would be very interesting. I'm still not sure if I'm going over there because it's too hot. I don't want to do the jungle. I don't want to do the bugs. You know, but yeah.
Again, the reality of being able to understand, you know, just the origin of me beyond, you know, my mom and my parents.
But I also think it would help because a lot of times as you get older, you get sick. And all these different things start messing with your body.
Yes.
You don't know where it comes from. A prime example is I am the oldest female in my generation. My cousins and them are younger than me. And they got sick and didn't have a lot of information, and I could tell them.
Love is your girl, and we're talking about the trauma of not knowing, and we're going to celebrate Black History Month in honor of our beautiful Queen Regina Fleming, and we're going to go find and seek out that dear brother of mine, and we're going to allow the folks at the Bowie State University, the graduates chapter, our dear Mr. Michael McGee, shout out Mike. They were out there at the Martin Luther King parade events with us, and we enjoyed our work in the community. We're coming back. But Michael and Bowie's graduate chapter of Bowie State are going to come and help us to start to navigate into who we are, connecting, and then we're going to come back together, fellowship, and then we're going to talk about those results. Won't you join us? Won't you be our special guest? We'd love to bring you on the Palms Up Show if you thought you were reading her stories and thinking, my goodness, I wonder where the other trait is or who I got it from, because they say it skips a generation. Neither one of my parents had it, and my grandmother didn't have it, so that prompts me to believe that it came from my father's family. And so, again, medical reasons are a very good reason.
Speaking of sit up.
Hey, let's stay right there in the bed. Let's stay in the bed where we at. Guess what else is a good reason why we should do our work when we know we got broken history out there? You don't want to mess around and be sleeping with your family. I'm just saying, as crazy as it sounds, as nasty as it sounds, palms up to those guys. It's our history. It's our history. What's your story out there? What you walking around so proud about that you holding on the inside that you need to deal with? We talking to you, palms up. We calling it out in 2022. That's right. Guys, it's about doing your work. The trauma of not knowing. Why do we say the trauma of not knowing? Because usually when there's a broken situation in our DNA chain, or when, we got family situation, we don't know who's who, there's usually some sort of traumatic understanding surrounding, like maybe you couldn't be raised by your family because of the drug. In your life, you was a mistake. Have you been told all your life that you the love child? I mean, come on out there, the trauma of not knowing. We're just trying to get you to shake that tree loose so that you can own your DNA, because everything is a part of what makes you, and you are uniquely you, regardless of what acts happen to bring you here. And so we want you to release yourself from all of those family stories. And we want you to do your work so you don't end up like me, realizing that everybody's passing away and I don't know who to talk to get the answers. Palms up. Guys, I'm telling you, this Black History Month, we're challenging you to do the work. Talk to me a little bit, Overseer, when we talk about seeing what we're connected to. What kind of prominence you think you come?
I'd rather for you to hit me than to hurt my feelings. When you hurt my feelings, I snap, and that's how my father really was. So I got a mixture of my mama. That's why my father named me after her, and I got his mixture. I guess that's why they call me crazy with the two of them. But I really, father always said, I'm not going nowhere till God calls me home.
That's right, and that's the way it is.
And he served in the Korean War, so he would tell us things. But when he got real sick, is when he started coming to me, and I was maybe about 15.
That sounds like something you do. Yeah, you got your mama in.
Yeah.
Poems up. That sounds like something. What's your stories out there? What are your favorite memories out there? One of the things you touched on when you talk about this name thing. Many of us have an kinship to our name, right? And so I want to tell you again why for me it's important to do this work and take this journey this Black History Month. My father's last name is Williams. My father's family's last name is Williams. And in the picture, it's all cute for everybody who's a Williams. But my father wasn't a Williams. And I don't know what my father, thank goodness that I got, and maybe that's why they chose to give me my mother's maiden name, Hamilton.
Okay.
Because Williams was not my father's family name. It was my family's name, but not my father's name, right? And so he learned as a little boy, or a young boy, that was the case, but still kept the name, went on with his life, and did what he needed to do in this life. But I wonder, with me losing him to his drug addiction, because we never had a conversation about it, I wonder how much of that bothered him. Would it bother you to grow up your...
On my mother's side, I had my great-grandmother. Her mother was another. She was great-great. Then I had a great, and then I had my grandmother. So that was 3 on my mother's side. On my father's side, I had my grandmother and my great-grandmother.
Wow.
And it was nice.
Wow.
And that's a rarity.
Wow, it is a rarity. That's why I'm like 5. To even still have 2 is good, but 5. And so, what is the last date you can remember with, like, approximately where they were all still, you still had them all? 2009, not 2000, 1970s, 80s. 1983. That's pretty good. So you were old enough to be able to appreciate that they were still here. What do you think you gained the most?
That they were crazy.
So you get it, honestly, other than looking like both of my parents, right? But I think about how soft and gentle. My mother's been soft, and her spirit has been so sweet and gentle all my life, all her life, right? But I hear the stories of when she was a child and how she would, she was the one that was going to put a foot in your tail. She was the one that was competitive in school, and she was the one that did her work, right? But the reality of my mother and her siblings losing their mom because she left for about 2 decades out of their life, it impacted and affected her. My mom was the youngest child at the time, and so what that did for her is it just kind of, I guess, all that wonderful spirit she had, because I'm very competitive, she served on the, what do you call it, my hands, me being a baby at a week old in her arms. Man, that did something. That did something to me. So I hope you guys are fortunate out there to have these same experiences, and I hope that you will have an epiphany that will help you to recognize that what doing your work will do for you. Guys, it is so important that we know who we are and where we come from. Just knowing that grounds us so that we don't have to. That's your reality. We want to hear from you. You should take this journey with us. You probably got bundles of family all over and just don't know. And that's the important about the broken DNA, the reality of what trauma has done that they talked about. Or maybe you got your granddaddy's feet, but maybe not. You know what I'm saying? All these quirky little things that we talk, it matters to us. Where you come from?
It don't make no difference.
Come on, give me your perspective. Why?
Because I've been through so much in life. And I just had to make a life for myself.
Amen.
I think sometimes, because I had a very close, tight-knit family. And so it could go either way, really.
Let's talk about that,
I guess I have that wall up. That's why I said it don't make me no difference.
Yeah.
And that's a wall.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate. And that's why we do this. We're talking, guys, we're no different than you are. We're human. We feel. We have families that we are not sure about. We have history. We have trauma that we've had to come through. Guys, we do this show. We bring you this platform to make sure you guys know you're not alone out there. Palms up. We can talk about this kind of stuff. Learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to look in that mirror and appreciate God's work. You are uniquely you, and today we're talking about, for this Black History Month, tapping into your DNA. Now let's talk about that for a minute. We're talking about the upside of looking into that, find out who my brother was, and then two, to find out who my father's family was. It just really bothered me for many years when they kept saying, oh, you have a trait of sickle cell. I didn't know what that meant. And then of course at 12 years old, some doctor comes in and says, oh, if you're mate with someone with a trait, you're going to have. I wasn't thinking about all that, but it stays with you, you know. And then when I realized that my father's family history was broken and that it skips a generation, that's when it started to become something for me, because I wanted, when she was young, I don't want to put my mom's business all the way out there, but I would say 40 plus years later, 50 years later, that trauma still followed her. She remembered my brother's birthday, right? She remembered the name she gave him, even though she didn't raise him. There were many things about that experience that she carried with her. And so when we tell you guys that this mental health has layers, when we tell you that it's not cool to judge people, when we tell you that you are uniquely you and your journey is yours, we mean it. We mean it. Don't be afraid. Don't run away from that which is different or that which you don't understand. It's just a part of your journey. Palms up out there? Absolutely. So my biggest fear was that I would go and find this brother that I